So now we are trying to change the oil out of the Eaton 307-961 compressor, which came out from a CLK 200 compressor, which in fact is a 1.8 cc engine with a compressor. This is the position that it sits in the engine bay. Exactly in this position, it's held up by two screws here, here, and here. Up one, and from beneath the engine bay, so under the car, you can access this other screw to remove it from the car, and another one fits here in the back, also from down under. You can reach it, and it's attached to the oil filter case. So now imagine if it's sitting in this position inside the bay. Here you have the belt of the compressor. Here is the screw, which I already loosened it, but it was loose already. I thought I would struggle a little bit with it, but I wouldn't. When I remove it, something strange happened. It was pressure there. So maybe there's a pressure leak when you know, the seal inside escapes or lets in some pressure inside this chamber but doesn't let it out. So it was a little bit of pressure here. I was surprised, but I will try to see what's the amount of the oil that's left inside the this transmission, because here it's actually like a transmission. There are some gears which runs the let's say the shafts inside here that compress the air. So if you see down there inside, if I'm rotating, you will see the shafts inside that actually are compressing the air, are sucking, compressing the air. Now inside there. Anyway, you can see more detailed picture about what's inside in Google. So this is the main thing. Okay, I will try to run out now the oil. I will collect it in this. Usually if you are on the car now, you cannot of course reach it in this way, so I prepared the syringe with a pipe. You put the hose inside and you suck out the oil. But as I have it already out now, I will not do it in this way. I will just add it back, the oil. But I want to remove it through this method. Let's see if something is coming out. Yeah, starts coming out. It's not that much and it's very thick. Actually, what you have here, it's a transmission oil. It's a very high-end synthetic transmission oil, and you have to have like 125 milligrams. But as you see from here, we only can drain out what comes from the other side. It's actually from the intake. So the oil inside through this method doesn't come out. So let's try now with the syringe method. Let's clean up here a bit. So what you see coming out from here, so actually this oil is from the PCV valve, the camshaft case breather that comes out in the intake, and also from the one from the oil pan that gathers here and sits around here until the air moves it. So this is not from the compressor actually, this is from the engine oil that travels through the intake. So let's try now in this method and see if we can reach it and see if we can get something. So now we try to put inside as much as it goes. It doesn't have where to go that much. But now I'll try to suck out something. Let's see if we reach something in there. So it feels like a strong vacuum. Okay, let's remove it a little bit. Okay, so something comes out. Okay, so in this way it seems like we can remove a little bit more than we drain out. Let's try to move the hose. Up. Okay. So finally, because we only managed to extract this much of the oil inside, actually not this much, it was a lot less, we decided to open up the gears here inside of the compressor. So we took out 8 screws and we just pry it a little bit to help it out, because imagine from so many years it was stuck here. Now we cleaned it, but we didn't show you, but it was kind of sluggy and had some metal residue in here, which you can pick it up by your finger. So now after we clean it, everything we cleaned nicely with a brake sprayer. We didn't actually spray inside the bearing, because there's a bearing there and I don't want to leave it dry. So we're gonna put this back now. Actually, what I want to mention is that you cannot properly drain it from here. So you will remove some of the oil, but because this hole it's getting in here, actually you cannot put your hose very well inside. It will skip and maybe you'll get it only here, so you will not get too much of the oil out. So yeah, the best way is to remove it, and if you want to do it properly, but again, there's not a bad way to try it even like this. What I'm seeing here, I don't think it's 125 ml left in here. I don't know what to say. We didn't measure it, but I will measure it and I will come back on this. So in the end, this is the amount that we removed from the crank, from inside the turbocharger, the Eaton. We opened up the case as you saw, and we managed to get everything out in this receptacle. I made it. And from this we drain it in here. We pressed Tara, so we put the bottle on 0. So we started from 0. Actually, the bottle weight is not included in this commercial. So as you see, it's like 58, 59 grams, I don't know, something like that. We have a flat surface here, so we are steady. So let's say that because the oil it's more dense than the water, so let's say around 70 milliliters of oil we removed from actually 125 that should be inside of the supercharger, and we replace it with this oil. It's a full synthetic from which respects the GL5 norm, which means that it's high in magnesium, which should protect the gears inside. So it's 7590 Synthes BVX 600. This is what we replaced the Eaton. Let's go to the Eaton. Hi Eaton, how are you feeling? So again, we put it to this bolt, but we actually measure it first. We measured 125 grams of oil, so maybe we are a little bit up the limit of 125 ml, but we say it's okay because we, with this bolt opened, we incline the compressor, and until we saw that it's almost ready to drip out. So when we saw that it's dripping out, it was in this inclination. So let's say that maybe it should stay flat on the surface like this. This should be a flat surface, so it was in this degree. So let's say it's a little bit more, but I'm sure it will not harm. So this is until now. I'll come back.